So next up, my review series of the MonsterVerse movies is Kong Skull Island. So as I said in my review for Godzilla, I actually was really excited for Kong Skull Island when it first came out because I've always been a fan of the character of Kong. So the new idea of a Kong movie, and this Kong is massive, gave me so much excitement to see what was going to happen within this movie. As well, it takes place in a different time period, so we're seeing something completely different. Now, prior to seeing this one, the only one, and even to this day, the only one I've seen is actually Peter Jackson's Kong. So then I've only seen it, and that was what, the 20s. So to take place in the 70s, I was really excited to see it in a different era, and I love the era. It's probably being in the era that it's in is probably one of my favorite elements of this movie, having it being a really heavily 70s movies, as well as a really heavy, like, really put so much energy on the fact that they're straight out of the Vietnam War, really makes this movie feel so original. And just as a movie as a whole, it's just such a fun movie to watch. One of my favorite things is actually, as well, as soon as I left the cinema the first time, I immediately created a playlist of all the songs in this movie. The music in this movie is on like the level of Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I'd say it's slightly below. I don't go back and watch them as much, but these songs are all like iconic songs that you immediately think of the Vietnam War. Because if you watch any Vietnam movie, these songs are probably in there somehow. Like just looking at Good Morning Vietnam, or just any other ones you could think of. But this movie has fantastic music. It's just, I was not expecting the music to be as good as it is the first time I went into this movie. As well, one of the complaints people have with Godzilla, and I do have it too, in a certain amount of way, is a lot of people didn't like that we spent so much time with the human characters, and the fact that none of the human characters felt fleshed out. Now, in this movie, we spent a lot more time with Kong, and we spent still a lot of time with the human characters, and that's one of my complaints, is we spend so much time with the human characters, and there is actually so many of them. There's so many of them that we really don't really know any of them. The only human character that I feel like is actually an interesting character is not John Goodman's character, John C. Riley's character, because of like him landing there in World War II and living there for 28 years. Seeing his character was the only actually interesting character. So the rest of them, the only reason I was enjoying seeing them is because they're famous actors that I like, whether it's John Goodman, of course, or Sam Jackson, or Brie Larson, all these people. I just like these as actors, so just seeing them on screen was just an interesting and fun person to see on screen rather than enjoying their character. I feel like if they were played by literally anyone else who, like, they were kind of, not to insult them, but if they were to be like no name actors that I've never seen before, I feel like they would have all fallen completely flat for me. I feel like just because I know these actors from other movies, that's what makes them more likable and more enjoyable within this movie. But I love the design of Kong. I think Kong looks absolutely phenomenal. Scenes when his arm is cut up or he's fighting the animals, which is fantastic. I said that in Godzilla, I thought the action was kind of minimalistic. I think I enjoyed the action, but I would have likened it to be a little bit more. And in this movie, they go balls to the wall crazy. And because he's a gorilla, he can fight dirty, he can fight brutal. Like, he gets an octopus, reefs it out of the ocean, and then starts eating it. He puts his hand down the throat of some weird big creature and rips out his intestines. The action and the fight scenes are absolutely brutal in this movie, and it is fantastic to see Kong literally going all out, literally getting helicopters and destroying them. I love Kong in this movie. I love that this is not the biggest he's going to get. We're going to see him get even bigger in Godzilla versus Kong, and I just think Kong in this movie is just, to say the least, fantastic. Another one thing I love about this movie is that it's absolutely beautiful. After watching it now this most recent time last night, I watched it on Blu-ray. First thing I actually did when I finished it was, okay, I'm gonna have to get this in 4K. I don't know why I haven't got this movie in 4K yet. It is a stunning movie. Every shot, there's shots like where you're looking at explosions through someone's sunglasses, or all the helicopters are in a line above or above the water. All absolutely beautiful shots. There's so many shots in this movie that I am very tempted to print out because they are absolutely gorgeous. So many shots, just stunning. And I think this movie would demand a 4K viewing, so I'm going to have to get that 4K sooner rather than later. Not only the design of Kong, but the design of all the other creatures on the island, because they're all so different. There's no creature that is like similar to a different creature, whether it's the creature that is literally able to disguise itself as or like a fallen tree trunk on the ground, or it's these big massive what would you call them, like I can't think of the name of the animal. Or you got the big massive spiders that the leg of one spider is like as he's walking literally falls and crushes a man's throat right through. Absolutely, the way people die in this movie actually as well is brutal, absolutely brutal. But no, I love the character designs, I love the creature designs, all of it. I love the design of this island of Skull Island. I hope we get to see a little bit more of it within Godzilla vs Kong. I know we're going to see some of it because we're gonna have to see them getting Kong in the ship, because I'm not gonna really believe it if the movie just starts and Kong is on the ship. We will be seeing Skull Island again, and I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't actually even mind a prequel to seeing how Kong's parents died, because that seems like a pretty big battle that I really would not mind seeing. So hopefully, I'd actually love a movie like that. So hopefully, one day we do get the movie of how Kong's parents died. Going into this movie, kind of remembering how I remembered it last time, Godzilla 2014 was my favorite in the franchise, but as of right now, Kong Skull Island is my absolute favorite movie in this franchise. It is just the best way of summarizing this movie is it's just a lot of fun. I had so much fun from the movie. The moment this movie started to the moment it ended, it is just so much fun. Even though I said I don't really like any of the characters, they're not really characters to me, they're just really more actors. They all have ridiculously good chemistry. They all work really, really well together. The music's phenomenal. King Kong as well is just, he looks like an overgrown ape. He literally looks like a normal ape that has been grown 100 feet, 150 feet. He looks absolutely amazing, and you bet your ass I am on team King Kong, and he's going to win in Godzilla vs Kong. He better win. I really hope he does win. And if you want to hear my thoughts on Godzilla vs Kong, make sure you click the subscribe button so you can come back when I do my review of Godzilla vs Kong as well. My review of Godzilla King of the Monsters should be coming out in the next couple of days. I just have to rewatch it. I haven't actually seen this one since the cinema, so I'm looking forward to going back and rewatching this one. But again, if you want to hear my thoughts on both of those movies, click that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.